this isn't just some like industry group. The American Academy of Pediatrics, the American Diabetes Association, these medical groups have statutory authority to create the standard of care for how we practice medicine in the United States. They are funded majority by pharma. So the groups that are literally have statutory power to create the standard of care for diabetes, you just step back. Why aren't doctors in giving their patients prescriptions for food interventions if they have prediabetes? Why aren't they giving them and prescribing them and allowing them to use their medically, tax advantage dollars to exercise? If you actually follow the science, that would be the correct medical intervention to reverse that. But we're so gaslighted by this. It's just not even batting an eye that it's just pill, pill, pill. Americans follow incentives. It's what we're trying to do. TrueMed is a doctor actually can write a note for exercise and food. And that actually can open up medical tax advantage dollars and other insurance dollars. Doctors could do that. But the second you get someone off the chronic disease treadmill, that's not a profitable patient. There's nothing more profitable for the pharmaceutical industry than, frankly, a sick kid. You imagine a kid with prediabetes, inevitably they're obese, inevitably they have hypertension, inevitably they have heart issues. They're going to be, like my mom, much earlier on just a ton of drugs, being told on each of those drugs that you're not curing anything. These are conditions you need to manage for life. So we're getting people, there's a war to get kids on that bandwagon. We need to have the moral clarity, frankly, and communicate this like RFK is communicating it. There's something really resonating, and at the core of his message is that we've really lost our way. This is a big issue. This is corruption. It's corruption at the end of the day, which is destroying and profiting off, destroying our kids, profiting on us being sicker and addicted and depressed, quite frankly. This is a big issue we need to unwind. And frankly, President Trump has made some strong statements about this. I'd say watching the GOP debate, it's like watching a bizarre world. I mean, Rome is burning in a lot of ways. We have a corruption problem, and it sounds like they're at some cocktail party in 1988, GOP cocktail party. It's not about the marginal tax rate. It's not about the Medicare Part D, page 300. Our biggest industry, the healthcare industry, is profiting from us being sick. It's just that simple. We need to unwind that, or we're going to destroy our human capital and destroy our budget.
But it's not just think tanks and elite research universities. Doctors are cashing in on Big Pharma's generosity. Instead of advocating for lifestyle changes like diet and exercise, the American Academy of Pediatrics is recommending every obese person over age 12 to take an injectable weight loss drug that they have to be on for life. Of course they do. And you also have doctors saying stuff like this.
If you diet, you lose weight, right?
The number one cause of obesity is genetics. That means if you are born to parents that have obesity, you have a 50 to 85% likelihood of having the disease yourself, even with optimal diet, exercise, sleep management, stress management. So when people see families that have obesity, the assumption is, what are they feeding those kids?
So willpower,
throw that out the window.
So much propaganda on 60 Minutes. That lady took more than 15 grand from the pharmaceutical company Novo Nordisk last year alone, 2021. Novo Nordisk makes the miracle anti-obesity drug Ozempic. And I'll let you draw your own conclusions. My next guest used to work for the Coca-Cola company, and he says he saw firsthand how the food and pharma industries rigged the system to their advantage. Calley Means is now the founder of TrueMed and joins me now. But before we get started, we just reached out to Coca-Cola a little while ago for comment, and we haven't heard back. So what do you have to tell us about what's going on inside Coca-Cola?
Well, first, Jesse, God bless you for paying attention and drawing attention to the most important issue in the world, which is that we're getting sicker, fatter, more depressed, more infertile because of food. 8 of the 10 leading causes of Americans today are directly tied to food, reversible by food. But we really are gaslighted from that fact, and it's because of a rigged system. And 3 particular levels I saw is that food companies directly pay medical groups. Coke has funneled millions of dollars, and the American Academy of Diabetes, the American Academy of Pediatrics, who said, the American Nutrition Association, they've accepted millions of dollars from Coke. And what does that buy? When we have diabetes water, sugar consumption going up among children 100x in 100 years, we have silence from the American Diabetes Association on sugary drinks when 25% of teenagers now are pre-diabetic. They're also, as you've very aptly pointed out research institutions. And what does that get? What does that 11 times more from food than the NIH? What does that get? It gets the doctors on the USDA nutrition guidelines. Right now, shamefully, and I believe this is the most shameful, violent policy in America, the USDA, our own government, says that a 2-year-old, it's okay for them to have 10% of their diet as added sugar. That should be 0. This is a drug causing absolute devastation. And as you alluded to as well, the last tier I'll mention is the media. And 60 Minutes during that shameful piece saying that an issue only in the past 50 years is genetic, before and after that piece with Dr. Fatima Stanford, pharma ads ran, and food ads. Food is one of the largest advertisers on children's networks. And now with social media, food companies are funneling millions of dollars for body positive influencers to say that weighing a patient at the doctor's office is racist, and to systematically say even talking about weight is racist, which is just shameful because we have a metabolic crisis.
Is Big Sugar also paying Victoria's Secret, because now all those models are humongous? Is that also part of it? Like the marketing campaign about it's okay to be and gorgeous to be obese?
It's a systematic rigging of the institutions of trust. I mean, this is not complicated. And earlier in my career, I saw this. Unimpressive PR executives sit around conference rooms and ask, how do we rig? How do we gaslight people, in an Orwellian way from not believing what's right in front of us? 80% of American adults are overweight or obese. 50% of adults have prediabetes or diabetes. We are being brought to our knees by preventable metabolic dysfunction. I think the real issue here, Jesse, as you alluded to, is pharma is standing silent, and the medical institutions are standing silent because they profit from people being sick, and they're getting sick because of food.
Wow. The unhealthier we are, the richer they get. This is not a good system. We got to change it. Thank you very much for speaking out. We really appreciate it.